such as hazelnuts, Oregon grapeberry or mahonia, elderberries, huckleberries, wild grasses and lavenders, hazelnut, low shrubs and small trees that create a natural habitat.
That sounds nice. I've got a lot of that on my property right now. I love the huckleberries.
Yes, I do too.
Um,
Do you have a drawing of the landscape design you're planning?
I do not.
We don't. We wanted to get a sense of what it looks like after you remove the various mounds. If that's, important, we certainly could follow it up with such a design. But right now, with a lot else that we're focusing on with the house itself, we just haven't had the time or even the bandwidth to come up with the plan itself for the replanting.
We've sort of landed here from another planet. We're from Belgium, where we've lived for 16 years, and we've arrived in a gray, wet season of the Pacific Northwest. So we're just trying to evaluate a lot of things all at once.
It's been grayer and wetter before, so
we understand.
But presently, as you may have seen when you visited the site, the yard is predominantly juniper that's gone amok.
Yes.
And it's really unfriendly. I like juniper, but I like smaller amounts of juniper. We may actually try to keep the juniper that runs parallel to the roadway as you come up the hill toward to Orchid.
The juniper that's along Marigold.
Along Marigold, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think that it holds the soil nicely there. It's low and it doesn't cause any kind of impediment to use of the yard. But that side of the house is the sunny side, and it would be lovely to enjoy walking through the yard. I like to think of a poet's walk. You take your morning coffee and you go into a beautiful little habitat where hopefully we will encourage birds to visit. So that's kind of the intent.
A little beyond your interest, but just to add to my note of our preoccupation with other things, we brought Barron's Heating out to just do maintenance on our newly acquired furnace and hot water heater. They were immediately condemned. So we've had to put in a new heat pump system and water tank. Literally the furnace was 60 ppm CO in the house. I mean, had we stayed there one night, we may have killed ourselves.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
okay.
Is that the unit that was on the side of the house?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Our engineer noticed that right away.
And actually, it was inside the house, and
no,
the unit on the outside is the new unit.
The new heat pump,
right. Yeah.
But I mentioned that only because, not knowing if we were going to get freezing temperatures, they condemned the existing heat plant. We had to act quickly on other things like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I think you're within your rights to remove excess shrubbery in your yard. Our only concern was that it not remain barren. And you stated in your application that you had plans to plant, and it sounds like you have some pretty specific ideas about what you want to do there.
Very, very much so. The only caveat here is that what we're hoping to achieve presently is to grade the yard, and not necessarily into a flat grade, because I don't actually care for that. I want it to be a natural rolling grade. It may not have plantings until next year.
The spring or into the summer.
And possibly into the fall. So what we would do is mitigate any kind of problem with runoff. We would put down something to hold the grade until we can actually get in there and plant.
We have to return to Belgium and sell our house, move all our belongings. That's the next phase. So we'll return there end of March, do that, and then come back and continue our work on this house.
Yeah, it sounds like the amount of work you want to do there you couldn't do that through this winter anyway. As long as whatever you disrupt right now is, you put straw over it or whatever needs to be done. But you probably
Yes.
couldn't do a whole lot of excavating this time of year.
Except for our
We-
impression is that construction debris from the building of this house was put into the front yard and never removed, because there are these odd little mountains of stone and whatever. We don't know what's underneath there. And that is something that probably could be a winter project. Just get the stone out and determine if there's usable stone to use in the landscape as well. But to certainly bring those mounds down or out of the yard.
We haven't contacted any excavators pending this meeting and your decision. So that would be a next step. We honestly don't know if anything could be done now or not.
Yeah, are you aware of the restrictions for bare earth over the winter months?
Well, we know from your manual that we would have to provide some ground cover to prevent erosion, sediment, wash off, that sort of thing. We're prepared to put whatever covers down would be necessary.
I think you can't have more than 500 square feet of exposed soil
Okay.
through these months until, I can't remember when that May or something. I'm not exactly sure what day it changes, but you can't have that much exposed soil through the winter months.
And exposed meaning soil even
Soil that could run off.
Okay, so would a protective cover over exposed soil?
I think you can't dig into the soil at all to that extent.
Okay.
So like a small walkway or something like that would not be 500 square feet, but that's the number that you need to look at.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Wayne here. Anything that's disturbed, like when we walked your property the other day, we saw the removed, I guess, landscaping rocks in the rear of the property. So that's considered exposed, right? So say there's a significant rain period while you're away, and that exposed soil just flows down to the next property, then yeah, that would be an issue, right?
Yep. No, understand it. On that, by the way, that was another, if you will, emergency project. The former owners or someone buried 4 of the deck posts up to a foot with the debris that you saw piled. We excavated those posts to see if there was dry rot and any structural damage to the deck.
Right.
And in doing that, literally the piled up rocks that have been removed from the edge, were rolling down the hillside. I mean, you couldn't walk near them without causing boulders to roll down the hillside onto our neighbor's property. So we pulled that edge back and left it.
So you cut back to give it more stability, right? So yeah,
exactly.
Yes.
And so I did by hand. I mean, it was just like,
we've all experienced that. But the key is you gotta play a bit of luck here. Hopefully we don't get a river storm coming through, right? So it's coming, right? We're anytime in January, February, you could get heavy rainfall. It could be heavy snow. So yeah, you don't want to be caught while you have it exposed, and all of a sudden just a bad week, and all of a sudden it's just 2-3 inches of water coming down.
And this is a county regulation too. It's because of the watershed.
Understand. 2 points, if I may, and we're very respectful of everyone's time. One, on that area that we've just been talking about, our intent would be to stabilize the slope with a concrete stacked rock. It measures about 20 feet long and probably 2 feet high. that would be another application to you, but that's the intent, to get that in there. And it's stable now. We dug back to terra firma. So that would be the next step. With respect to the front lawn though, and the mounds and the amount of coverage, the 500 square foot issue, as you may note, there's one prominent mound of rock with 3 tree stumps in it. I mean, it's that kind of thing that we're hoping to just get into. I've taken a grub axe to it. It is a pile of rock and roots, as far as I can tell. But that's the thing that we would hope for approval now, to at least begin to get that out of the way, so we can begin to see where we have to go from here.
Where's that exactly? Is that the corner of where Marigold and is that where the street in the corner there?
If
That's
you look at
exhibit 2, correct?
Yes, if you look at the pictures that we gave you, which move clockwise from Orchid around the corner onto Marigold, Daniel, you may be right. I don't have it in front of me, but it's the picture that shows the utilities
Yes.
that are there, and right behind it, there's a mound, and you'll see, I know it's a bad picture, but you'll see 2 or 3 good-sized stumps sticking out of it. That's the mound I'm talking about.
So from your description, it looks like you want to remove these juniper bushes, clear up some of the stone and debris, and level it to some extent. Maybe remove some of the debris that's underneath the grass. And in your description, it says you will do some landscaping. Any other questions?
Yeah, do you plan to remove those stumps?
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the main drivers. I mean, you can't do anything with that section of the yard, given the entanglement of the root system and the stumps. And there was a good sized tree at one point that caused all of that. I think it's about a 6-inch, 8-inch diameter stump that's at the top of that rock pile.
A tree that we've never seen.
Right, I mean, it's
just the remaining stump.
It's been there for a long time.
So we're talking about the mound where the fire hydrant is.
Behind the fire hydrant.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to clear that so you can see your house. And there's two bollards in front of the fire hydrant so that people don't run down the hill and hit the fire hydrant.
Correct.
And you're not concerned that somebody will drive right through your corner of your house, right? Because
No.
if you remove the mound, right, it does one of two things. One is, it prevents heavy objects rolling into your house, and then the second, obviously, is it acts as a bit of soil erosion. Like, if water did come down, that mound is probably protecting and diverting the water away.
I'm sorry, wait. It sounded like the intention was to rebuild some of that topography, sort of take it down and rebuild it. Is that correct?
Not necessarily. It's to save any stone that we might uncover that's beautiful and can be incorporated into a landscape. But we don't know what's underneath that mound. It could be concrete chunks for all we know.
Wayne, to your point, along Marigold, there is a sort of a natural low ditch and then a rise as you get into the junipers. Along there, both for our privacy and for the issues you raised, we would not intend to take that down.
The juniper.
It's really when you move toward the front and you get into the mounds to the front of the house that we're looking to do the landscaping.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not raising the issue of removing or finding stone there. I would agree with you, is that if there's any recoverable natural rock or stone that's in there, is maybe expose it, right, and give it more aesthetics to the house, right? Like, it looks pretty plain with the grassy mound there, right?
Yes.
It almost makes
to an extreme, yes.
Yeah, it almost makes your house look like it's a challenging golf, tee, right?
Well, as a landscaper, I am highly challenged by this little lot, but we do intend to beautify it. That's our intent, and to do it carefully and ecologically. Also, we don't use any chemicals in our landscaping, so we're very tuned in to creating natural habitats that work well
Sure.
for what it's worth.
Yeah, no, the junipers were planted there for a reason, right? They obviously do a lot for erosion and stability, soil stability, right? But it's not very easy to manicure, I guess. It's like so. Yeah, no, I think given the time you're going to be away, right? You want to maybe take consideration of what Daniel just shared, right? Like if you're going to be away during the wet season, just be aware that the soil's not stable during the wet season.
Okay.
Yes, excellent point. Yes.
So,
Anyone else?
is there a problem in removing those tree stumps as far as erosion? I know they need to get them removed, the underlying roots, to be able to plant what they want to plant, but is that a problem removing it? And two, do they have to wait on removing that until the summer, or the spring, whenever they're allowed to move dirt?
Patrick, based on my grub axing around a bit, it appears that those stumps are just on a rock pile. I didn't hit soil. It's a very breakable shale-like material, which predominates, well, I think the whole area. So I'm not sure, at least I'm not expecting we're going to loosen up or even find a lot of soil. It just seems like a pretty impenetrable rock pile
It's very odd
that these trees managed to survive on until someone cut them down.
So Patrick, probably the right thing to do is let the, I mean, I guess what you're trying to do from the stump perspective is maybe level it to the grade, and
Yes.
and then you're I mean, I've dug out stumps before, and I can tell you it's not an easy job, and I gave up on one of them, and I just level it with the grade, and it looks great that way because it's hidden from the view, and you can probably paint the stump or whatever you want to do and put more rock on top of it, right? Just to make it look aesthetically, tuned to the grade. You're probably not going to get much value trying to get to the entire root system. As you say, the root from the old tree stump probably encroached close to your foundation and wherever it went, right? So probably not worth trying to do some discovery, right? It's going to cost you more just to take that one stump out.
Oh, yeah, no, good point. We're not looking to take any more out than to get it down to a reasonable level and then, replant over it.
The worst stumps are the juniper, and they're relatively shallow. It's just that they're interlocked and they create quite a tangle that makes working with the soil or working with the yard almost impossible. So getting those out, I think, is more of a superficial operation that will require getting some small equipment in there just to do it, but then it's not going very far below grade, if at all.
And Patrick, coming back to your point, the mound with the stumps, it's about 2.5 feet above a reasonable grade looked at from most other angles. I mean, it's quite a pile. It's that pile that we're, in addition to the junipers, most concerned about just getting down to a reasonable level.
It doesn't make any visual sense to have it there. Would you agree?
You want a blank canvas.
Pardon me?
You want a blank canvas to work with.
Not entirely blank, but to save what's beautiful and makes sense in that habitat, yes.
Sure.
and then to create open areas where we can plant more beneficial species to the area.
But to the questions you're raising, we're not looking for a blank check either. We very much respect that there are rules, that we're going to need to follow them, and that we, have all of you to provide the oversight.
Absolutely.
Sure, yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, so Daniel, I think what I heard was the motion, or at least the consideration here is we're not considering the stump to be removed. We're just saying the stump will be landscaped to the grade, so that new plantation can occur, and that there may be additional soils if determined that there's no usable soil below what's visible there, right? Because you're going to have to remove some of the juniper to uncover, to see what kind of cover they've got. It may turn into nothing but aggregate, right? And so I think we can make a motion here is that we can approve landscaping, trimming back unusable plant or plantation that's in the area, but be considerate of the wet season so that soil erosion doesn't occur during the wet season.
Yes, I like that.
Okay, well, you intend to remove the dead tree stumps with a backhoe, is what you have in the request.
Yes, I think I indicated we expect that it will require a backhoe. If you dig up enough of it, you also could carefully bring in a chainsaw to cut off, major stumps near the top. Whatever it takes, but we envision a backhoe at some point coming in, yes.
Primarily to remove the juniper, which comprises the
Yeah,
entire.
I'm just concerned about the dead tree stumps. The action on that.
As far as exposing the soil, or what is your concern, Patrick?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that is well within your rights, as long as you are not doing it in the winter months. So are you concerned more about the watershed restrictions for the winter, or just overall removing the stump?
Both.
Okay, well, as long as they're cognizant of the restrictions for the watershed, it seems like they're well within their rights to remove some stumps, especially since the little mounds there aren't going to really impact as a lot of the other areas, properties in Sudden Valley would. So I personally don't have an issue with that.
Okay.
And so are we going to get a subsequent landscaping plan, I guess? I think that was your original question, right, Dan? Is that
I think, I mentioned that, but it does say the description in the application does indicate that the landscaping is the intention. And that's, I have no reason to doubt that that is the intention. So, but, we are agreeing to that. If we agree to this, that's what your application is, and that's what we are considering. So I feel like I wouldn't necessarily need to see a specific plan. It sounds like the description that you gave us gives a clear intention of what you plan to do.
Absolutely. We created a similar garden in Belgium, and it's lovely and it's natural. We can't live without a garden.
Where did you live in Belgium?
We live just outside of Brussels.
Okay.
On the edge of La Forêt de Swan, which is a national or a World Heritage Site.
Forest, which is.
So we live, even though we live next to the metropolitan area, we live in a big nature setting, as Sudden Valley is. It's what attracted us to Sudden Valley.
All right, are we ready for a motion? Wayne, it sounded like you started one. Could you?
Okay, yeah, Wayne to motion approval of landscaping requests with consideration of soil exposure during the wet months, and then yeah, that's it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. Good luck, and it sounds like fun, and it sounds like we'll be hearing more about your other plans in the future.
Yes,
Thank you all so much. We really do appreciate all of the considerations. It's exactly what I would want to consider if someone put forth such a proposal to me. And it's also your time in the new year, and we really do appreciate it.
and
And it'd be nice to meet you.
our apologies to the other party waiting for their matter to be considered. So thank you, everyone, for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Excuse me, how do we get to meet all of you? Is there a public
You
meeting at
could
some
have a
point?
party for us and
Every other meeting is in the dance barn. So we will have live meetings at I think, what is it, 6 o'clock on
Yes,
every other Thursday?
Oh, wonderful.
the
Okay.
third,
Oh,
the third Thursday of the
Tuesday.
month.
Okay.
we're looking forward to joining the larger community. So thank you again.
Come out and meet us.
All right.
Will do.
All right.
Okay,
Bye.
Take
Daniel,
thank you.
Yes.
yeah, we've had 2 more people join.
Okay.
I believe we have Jason Sams from 39 Little Strawberry and Will Savchuk from 6 Sandalwood.
Okay.
Also, I started the recording late. For the record, could you just put on the record what item 3 was?
Item 3 was approved unanimously.
Okay, there we go. Thank you.
Okay, maybe we should move to item 10. Since they've been around for a while, we've got 3 people waiting on that one. 17 Rocky Ridge. And Joel is also here to help talk us through this one. So this is one that we had approved in its earliest iteration. I think that was back in July. It was a while ago. And there were some changes made and we had some issues with that. And we've been going back and forth about what looks like an ADU, or it looked like one at the time. So we actually, the owners and the architect met with Joanne and Joel, and we tried to talk about what we can do to mitigate that concern. And I think that's where we are at this point. So Joel, could you show us what changes were made?
So before Joel presents it, like I'm reading the application here. So what is it that we're approving or considering to review here?
It looks,
Oh, go ahead.
it looks to me like what the application is for the exterior alteration or construction change. That is what we are looking at now. And initially, our concern was that it looked like an ADU based on extra doors and ingress, egress, and actually that made us look inside to see what it looked like. And it did look like an ADU. For various reasons, I think there was an extra laundry room and a kitchenette, and that raised some red flags. So we had a meeting about that, and I think based on that meeting, there were some changes. So Joel, please.
Sure. So here's what's on the left. You see, here's what was previously approved. This is what they're currently approved. They had a 3-car garage on the bottom, and then they came back on a later meeting, changed the floor plan, changed some exterior elements. They got rid of this garage door on the left, and they proposed an exterior entrance, and that got denied. So now they've come back again with this construction change request. And on the
Yeah, at
right-
one point there was actually a second front door in the front of the house where that garage door is, and that's what really raised some flags for us.
And so now what's being submitted as a construction change request is what you'll see on the right here. So some of this top floor, I think this was a guest bedroom, has been deleted. So we've got some just little bit changes to the roof line here. We're looking at it from the front, and the side. And then the floor plan changes. So here's the current submittal for the construction change. Again, from the back. So here's their main floor on the left. Here's the lower floor with the garage. And you can see, they've got a man cave here. They've changed some of the layout of this floor.
So the man cave, what the man cave is now, what was that previously?
Let me pull that. I can pull that up here.
Because I think the man cave was originally in the front there where that garage is.
Yeah, it was over here to the left.
Okay.
Let's see if I got that handy. I think I do. My computer's thinking. Blow this up a little bit here. You can see. So here was the more recent construction change request, which was denied. Here's what their garage floor area looked like. So they had a rec room, bedroom, walk-in closet, washer dryer, and an exterior entrance here on the bottom. This has been now on this current submittal. This has been converted back into garage space here, and then this man cave area has been pushed to the back of the home.
So it looks like the current man cave was once part of a extended garage.
In their original submittal.
The one you just showed me to the right there.
Yeah, so this was the one that they had submitted as an exterior alteration, construction change request, and this was denied.
Okay.
Right. The one you're looking at now.
Okay.
Was denied, I think, because this was viewed as an ADU with an exterior entrance.
In the bar and the laundry room.
And back in the shower, and then so now what's being shown or what's being proposed in this construction change request. Here's what that lowest floor plan looks like.
So from my perspective, it looks like if we saw this for the first time like this, to my mind, it wouldn't raise any flags for ADUs. We don't have the door right in the front there. We don't have a door directly into that space. You know, and we did have a meeting and discussed all these things and talked about what you could do to mitigate that concern. And it looks like you addressed that. Committee, do you have any other concerns? Do you have enough information here to make any kind of decision on this?
On the side here, those are windows in the bedroom.
Yes, that's correct. Up here in the top left. You can see those windows in the elevations.
I don't have any further questions.
Wayne?
Have these plans been submitted already to the county for approval?
I don't know the answer to that question. I'd have to be, I think, one of the owners, or maybe Emily can chime in.
Hi, I'm Eileen Benjamin, one of the owners. I believe we're all set with the county, but Emily could answer to that better than me, I think.
Yeah, I don't see your drawing stamped, so you couldn't have submitted it yet, right?
We've had it for a few weeks, so I don't know. The holidays kind of bumbled everything around a little bit, and also this meeting got bumbled a little bit, so we don't.
Yeah.
But
So the version or the drawings we're looking at right now is I couldn't find a stamp or a receipt by Whatcom County. So if you find them, then we could receive those and take another peek, see what changes they accepted or approved.
Okay.
Yeah,
Would that be the only thing that would hold us up then?
yeah, I don't know. Like there's been a lot of changes. I recognize this house. It looks great right now. I just don't know what the process is, because if they have your original ones, right, and then you've revised it, they should have at least a chance to take a look and provide.
My husband's here.
Hey, sorry, I was on the Zoom call, but it didn't appear that I could talk. The original plans that were rejected, I guess to be the second version of the plans, where you thought that it seemed like an ADU, those were approved by the county. We did have a stamp for those. We did not want to get these approved by the county until you approve them, because this is the third change, and it's been very expensive to continue to make changes. So if you guys think it looks good, then we'll submit them again.
Yeah, so we're advising you that it looks great. Go get them submitted to the Whatcom County, and then get them back to us, because we'd like to see their comments.
Okay.
Yeah, and by the way, are we missing a drawing here? Do you have the survey, like the house on a site plan there?
Oh yeah, all that stuff has been submitted in their original application and has been approved. I don't think the footprint of the house has changed.
Nope.
Is that right?
That's right. And that's why we were allowed to keep building, because the footprint hasn't changed from the original submission.
So Wayne, do you have any specific concerns about what the county might see that would concern us?
Well, the fact that you changed the front door, right? They're gonna look at that and they're saying, okay, well, you got a garage now. They're gonna look at the slope and say, did you meet that, right?
Wait, that didn't change though.
That's from the first application. It's exactly the same, which was already approved by the county.
Right.
Yeah.
No. You're okay. So the first thing I'm seeing that's a change is you got a garage now, right, on the left side of the house.
We've always had that there.
So there were three versions of the plans. There was the original version that had both garages, which was approved by the county. We made a revision because interest rates, and removed a garage. And then that got rejected here, though it was approved also by the county. So what the county will be looking at is actually more similar to what they are previously approved.
Okay, so submit that, and then we have the final picture, right? And then that's what we'll consider.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I think Wayne, just to keep the dialogue going, I think I think what was approved was what we're looking at, other than the fact that the interior layout was changed.
Yes.
Is
Are
that
you talking about-
correct? Is that
Are you talking
correct?
about, are you talking about the original submission back in July?
Yes.
So that's the one that was approved by the county?
Yes. Both of ours were approved by the county. The original, which is what more similar to what you're looking at now, as well as the one that you rejected. Both were approved by the county.
So the footprint and the foundation have not changed at
Not at
all
all.
from the original?
Nope.
Not at all.
Okay.
So are you saying when you had the door and not the garage there, that your foundation or your grade wasn't sloped, right? Because
No.
in a garage,
No.
right, sloped, right? So
No.
you're saying you took the old submission and this is the result.
Yes.
Evidently, Emily is trying to speak and is having trouble with the meeting, so she's left the meeting and she's coming back, but she does want to speak.
Yeah, I had the same problem. So I had to run upstairs to get on this laptop.
Okay, so what we're being asked here is reapprove the 7/6 or the July
Yes,
submission.
exactly.
Okay, so where is it?
You have it.
Right.
Well, I'm not looking at it. That's what my issue is. Like,
Well,
can
the meeting got messed up because we submitted everything, but
Oh, no,
Diane did
not
some-
yeah, it's not on your end. I'm just saying I'm just looking what I'm looking at, right? So
Yeah.
I
so
by the way.
on my screen here, this is what the front of the house looked like when they were approved back in July. So this was approved, and this was approved by the county, and then here was their submittal, which got denied, and this looks like they did send this to county. And they said this one got approved by county. There's not really any difference in footprint here. It's just that they delete that top floor and add that exterior door and a window here. They delete that garage door.
So that was approved.
This one right here that you're looking at,
Yes.
it said was approved by county, but was denied by ACC.
So
Right.
we asked to make some changes
Have to make some
cosmetically
changes. They've
as
come
far as
back.
doors and layout
And they've come
of
back.
the
and-
interior.
Yep, and they've come
So
back and made those changes, and here's what's being submitted now.
is there anything that the county would be concerned about as far as changes that we asked for to mitigate the ADU appearance? I think that all we need to be concerned about is that it doesn't have the appearance of, and it doesn't have the appearance of an ADU. Is there any other concern you have, Wayne? Any beyond what was already approved in the latest iteration there?
I'm just not looking like, okay, the version I have is I don't have any reference to the July version, right? So if the July version is exactly the same, then we're just basically reapproving July's, right?
Well, there are differences in the exterior and the floor plan.
Well, there you go. Okay, so resubmit this.
Yep, you do have to approve.
Yeah.
it.
And then this is not, then we're not looking at apples and apples here, right? Because I thought what was just said was, what the architect just said was, yeah, it's exactly the same as July, but it's not.
The footprint is the same.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not talking about the footprint. I'm talking about what's
Okay.
being said here, because I don't have the footprint anyways, right? And it's okay because we said the footprint doesn't change, but what we're trying to consider here is you're asking me to vote on the exterior here, which the only copy I have is what was submitted, at 9 o'clock this morning.
So we essentially, well, I think what Wayne is saying is we need to have in front of us exactly what we're voting on. I mean, it sounds to me like in theory and what you have presented, what you've done, looks like it's exactly what we asked for. But if we are going to vote on this, we have to have clear documentation as to what we're approving or not approving.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey,
You guys hear me? Hi, sorry, I've been trying to talk this whole time, but for some reason I wasn't able to. So I went on my phone here and it looks like it's working. So like I said, I've been trying to get this to work, so I've missed a couple pieces. So bear with me a little bit while I try to kind of connect all the dots here. So,
Sure.
I think what you're wondering, is what was previously approved by the county. Is that the question, or what are we kind of
I
trying to?
think, I
And
think the
what they
main point,
want
the main
is that-
point is we want to, in this application, see exactly what we're approving. So this, to my mind, we're looking at this as a separate application that is going to be the document that says this is what we approved. Is that
Okay.
your concern, Wayne?
Yeah, because if it's not the same as what we approved in July, then it is a new application, right? And I just got this at 9 this morning, so I only
So, yeah,
opened.
so actually what happened was, we were, told we were going to be part of this meeting, back, a couple weeks ago here. And then, I got told last night that I needed to submit a form because it wasn't, added to the meeting. So that's what I did, and, submitted that form. But, what we're doing here is I didn't get requested to have any additional information besides what we had provided, and we were going to be part of this meeting. So are you saying that we need to submit a whole new construction application? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Okay.
I just
Sorry.
show proof on the application. You submitted it to Whatcom County,
Whatcom County. Okay. So we didn't, Elliot, I heard what Elliot
and
said.
then
That's when I was trying to talk. And Elliot, was right. We didn't submit this to Whatcom County. We've submitted it, 3 or 4 times just because we've gone back and forth with you guys. So we wanted to get, and Whatcom County has approved each of our, revisions. So we wanted to get, before submitting to the county and having the Elliots pay again for a revision fee at the county, we wanted to get your guys' approval, since you were the ones that we had yet to receive approval from. So we wanted to get your approval, and I will go ahead and submit this to the county today. And I can totally provide you with their approval once we receive it. But we just didn't want to get ahead of ourselves, since we've been going back and forth so much, and have the Elliots pay once again for a revision at the county. But yeah, we can totally do that. It's no problem.
Wayne, is there anything on this presentation that you have any problems with? Does it seem like they addressed our initial concerns?
no,
I think so too, and I think that
so conditional.
I think exactly. I think I would say you could proceed with this design. I think it looks good, but I think before we can officially give it the stamp of approval from the committee, we would have to have a document that we're approving that has all the information on it. So I think what you did satisfied what we wanted you to do. Is that correct?
I think maybe what we want to do is that it's approved as submitted pending verification by the county.
That sounds accurate in my mind. Wayne,
Sounds great. We can totally do that.
Wayne,
Yep.
is it? Okay.
Yep. Because all I was looking for was, somewhere somebody's taking attestation that this is what we're submitting, right? Like, I don't see the architect's stamp either, right? So, put it on, and then we're good to go, right? Because then it's official. Because it's not official until, I could have just drew this and copied it and just sent it in.
So, Patrick, do you want to make that motion again?
Yeah, I move that we approve the revision pending approval by the county.
Wayne to second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So that is unanimous. And thank you for all the rework you did on this.
Awesome. Thank you guys for working with
Very
us.
much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Joel.
Somebody has their hand up.
That's Elliot from 17.
Yeah, I had my hand up earlier because I was trying to indicate that I couldn't talk or use the chat. So I'll go back down to my computer downstairs. I'll log out. Sorry for the disruption.
Thank you. Okay. How about item 6 with Jason at 39 Little Strawberry Lane?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Ah, perfect.
Yeah, we went and looked at your property. and one of your friends came by to pick up a bike, so we thought we were gonna
Yeah.
ask them all
Yeah,
that.
that's what she said.
Um, I think our main concern was the setbacks.
Right. Yeah, what would you guys like to see?
I think we were throwing a lot of numbers around when we went and looked at the place, and we're thinking maybe at least 8 feet off of the setback rather than just 2 feet, because that is, I can't think of any time we've ever offered variance as low as 2 feet before. Anyone else want to make some comments about what we saw?
Is there I have a question. Is there a reason for getting it that close to the culvert?
As far as on the front on Little Strawberry Lane?
Yeah, that's
are
our
you-
main concern. Yeah.
Are you
Yeah, right.
trying to get separate?
Honestly, mostly just for room in the yard to be able to still have a yard and, you know, have a little room for the dogs. I know I was trying to find some setback stuff kind
Yeah,
of through the county and any other thing I could find through the ACC manual there.
yeah, it's normally 20 feet.
I don't remember what exactly I for setback on fence.
Yes.
Any structure you got there? Yeah.
Yeah, so 5 feet on the sides and 20 feet in the front.
Gotcha. Yeah,
And-
so I don't know if I saw the 20, but yeah, either which way.
And that would be, you know, we kind of discourage a front yard fence like that. So that would be pretty imposing, and we'd probably even need letters from neighbors approving that, but I don't think we would ever approve one that was that close to the setback.
Right.
I would,
Yeah,
I'm thinking,
kind of
you know,
the issue is we have 2 dogs and it's that Little Strawberry is the main dog walking road in Sudden Valley, it seems, which we love, you know, we're all about that with the community. It's just can be quite a challenge when I can't even walk out the door of the car without having to constantly pay attention.
So
So yeah,
is
that's
so is the intent of your fence is to protect against other dogs roaming into your property?
no, not at all. No, we love all the dogs. The intent is just to be able to let the dogs out to pee in the morning, and if we want to kind of be outside, not have to have the dogs on a lead or a leash, just, you know, while we're just enjoying the sun on the front porch in the afternoon, or, you know, doing that. And then mostly just so they get excited. They love other dogs. They want to go play and take off. And, you know, most everybody's good with that, but not everybody is, and trying to avoid conflict.
what was your intention with the planting that you have in the front there? You said you were going to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, so the previous owners had planted a just kind of like multiple rows of different vegetation in the yard
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I personally don't think it looks that good. So the intention was to kind of open that back up. Our neighbor Judy right next to us, she's super sweet. She was pretty excited about that idea, which we're kind of just, you know, on that end, it's waiting till spring when it's not quite so wet and not disturbing so much soil, and can put new plantings or whatever we want to do in there. There's no real set plan on that outside of it feels very cluttered.
Yeah, that was one of the things we were looking at when we were trying to figure out what would be a reasonable setback for you. And,
Right.
you know, we were considering that you wouldn't have to cut anything down, and that's, you know, that would probably be another a request to our group, if you did anything substantial as far as changing landscaping in the yard. But we were trying to look at it as a place you can put the fence that wouldn't disrupt the existing landscape and would still hide some of the fence, because the fence, it's, you know, essentially you don't want a big dog kennel in your front yard where other people probably wouldn't want to see that.
Yeah,
That
the
was our
only
main
unfortunate
concern.
is we just don't have any side yard on either side and no
Yeah.
access to the backyard via the door, right? Because we only have the side door into the driveway area and the front door directly out.
Yeah, so I
So-
think our thinking was that if you could move it back from the setback a bit
Uh-huh.
more,
Okay.
any,
Yeah, I mean, if you guys feel like 8 foot is good, then I'll do whatever you guys
do you,
basically need or
is that a
want.
number that everybody feels comfortable with?
Yeah.
Committee?
with that.
I mean, we would probably say at least 8 because you might want to move it exactly what works best for you. And again, if you did a lot of changes to the landscaping that's there right now, as far as cutting trees, that might be something that we
Don't
need to
really plan
review.
on cutting trees. There's, I think, 4 deciduous. They look like, I don't think they're an oak, but they kind of look similar to an oak that were planted in there that, we were, hopefully gonna dig up and see if somebody wanted them, friends, family, whatever, because they're nice trees. They
Mhm.
just really, take away from the yard, and they're not a native species or anything like that.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
There's, I guess, what is your guys' thoughts on when you were there? They had the previous owner had planted some smaller, what were they?
The scraggly looking plants?
Yeah, those
Yeah, I
scraggly
did,
ones. There's one
yeah,
or two of them
I
that are
couldn't
in
tell
like
what
a
they
big
were.
planter.
I mean,
They're, I think they're a type of juniper or cypress or something.
okay,
Not
yeah,
juniper. I think they're a type of cypress.
okay. Yeah,
Which,
I don't remember exactly what it looked like there, but it may be something that we need to review if it's going to be a big change. And I can't remember if it was or not.
yeah.
That's why that's why we came to the number 8 feet, because it seemed like it was in that area where you could have the option to not cut anything, or if you wanted to
Uh-huh.
clear a few things, I'm sure that's fine.
Okay.
So I think if we could say that we can move the setbacks need to be 5 feet.
Okay, 5
And if
foot.
we can get the front
Or 8
one,
feet,
I'm sorry, Patrick,
But 8 feet.
on the sides, I think it's 5.
Oh, I'm sorry, the size, okay.
In the front, we're talking about at least 8 feet.
Okay. So
Yeah. If you look,
minimum 8 foot, and then kind of see what is in the way in that area.
yeah, if you,
There is
yeah,
one cedar that might be a challenge in that particular area that's kind of set back into the yard. A pretty good sized cedar that definitely don't want to mess with, but
Oh, that huge cedar. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
that's,
think that the
that's a,
original plan was to have the fence around there, right?
Yeah, right. But I'm just saying if it's set back 8 foot, it might be pretty close to that.
It shouldn't, we looked at it and it
Okay.
shouldn't affect it.
Okay. Excellent.
So this is the fence that we have outlined in our guidelines in the ACC document, the wooden wire.
Yeah, exactly.
So hog wire, they call it, or deco wire.
Right.
That's not, do look at that document again to make sure that's what you're talking about, because we
Yeah,
are,
that's exactly what we're talking about. So
okay,
it's kind of that I want it to be smooth. I want it to be something that you guys prefer. I don't honestly care that much what it is as far as just being able to have, let the dogs go out and pee without having to constantly worry about, oh, do I got to make sure, walk out there, put the dog on the leash,
sure,
or can I
yeah.
just let the dogs out to pee? Because usually it's like 5 a.m. I'm groggy. It's pitch black out. It's pouring rain.
It's better than
you know,
having a neighbor 5 doors down saying we found this dog and we don't know who he was.
yeah, exactly. It's kind of, it's as much about keeping our dogs in and not, just preventing conflict. Honestly, I've lived in town. I've lived in the county. I'm from Southeast Alaska, where most dogs pretty much run wild. It's like I've lived in all the different environments and types of places and what people are okay with and not okay with. And it's just kind of like try to make it easy on ourselves while also being respectful to others.
Sure. And in that note, we do ask whenever we approve these sort of dog runs, is that make sure your dog isn't barking, keep an eye on it. Just because it's outside doesn't mean it's
Yeah.
okay. It could be barking. And
Right,
we do,
totally.
I'm not sure if it's in the our guidebook, but it does have to be the green or the black wire for the
Green or black wire, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that in there and I was figuring on the black.
Okay. Does somebody like to make a motion?
Will there be a variance form needed for the variance, or is this built into the fence request?
Yeah, there needs to be a variance request.
Yeah, I think we're good with the actual idea of the fence, but yeah, that is a separate request.
Okay, and then submit that through you guys as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Good point.
And also it would be good if you've got your two neighbors, just, it doesn't have to be a formal written, it just can be an email.
Okay.
Your two neighbors across the street there that face your house, that they'll be seeing the fence, that they're okay with it.
Yeah, right. Jason and I can't remember the other. Yeah, that shouldn't be an issue. They're all very nice people and all friendly. So
Jason, you can send
They-
that to ACC admin, have them email there, and then I'll get them to the committee. Or I'll attach it to the variance form.
So would that be,
Okay.
can we vote on this request at this point, or do we have to deny as submitted until we get another request with a variance?
Say pending receipt of the approval of the variance, I guess,
Okay,
as the comments.
okay. Would somebody like to make a motion in that regard?
What is it we need to do again?
I think what our intention is to approve this as it is, but pending on the variance approval.
Okay. So moved.
All in favor?
Well, no, just one sec. We're making a motion on as is. No, we're making a motion to accept the fence, but not the variance that's in there. Like the
Right,
variance.
it's contingent on the variance.
yes.
Is that clear in the motion, Diane?
Yeah.
Okay. So the motion stands. Can I get a second on that motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Wayne, did you?
Yep, I said aye.
Okay, unanimous. So we'll be looking for that variance.
Okay. Sounds great. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Take it.
All right, we have Will with 6 Sandalwood.
Hello there. Can you guys
Hello.
hear me?
Yes. So this is essentially just an extension, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, I submitted an extension in November, and it was kind of temporarily extended under the first extension till January 6th, I believe, was the date, because that's what the county had. And then I had an inspection, and you guys told me to just come back, submit again before January 6th, because I was planning to have another inspection at the end of November, and I did, so I got pushed out another 180 days. So I'm currently under the first extension with Sudden Valley, and it's set to expire June 3rd of 2024. So I'm asking if I can get an extension till June 1st of 2024. That'd give me 2 years. I do plan to be finished end of April-ish, if not sooner. So definitely before June 1st.
So
So
2
I'm
years. We generally are asking 1 year, is that correct?
Yeah. So it'll be 2 years under, I guess, the second extension. So I've kind of already explained what happened and why it's I'm into the second year. When I started, there was a concrete shortage with Cowden, and we kind of got set back and just cleared the lot, but just didn't want to run into a situation where we're rushing to backfill and get fined with the county. So we had to hold it off till the next summer, which was last summer. We started the excavation work, foundation work, and now we're insulating today and tomorrow and starting drywall next week.
Yeah, I understand there are always mitigating circumstances. And the reason we do have these deadlines is because there are people that are probably living right next door to a construction site that's been going on for 2 years. You know, sometimes there's nothing you could do about it, but I mean, we do have this fee structure and these fines for extending beyond what we've agreed upon. I don't want it to be that it's just a matter of course where we just offer extensions and then there are no fees and no ramifications for going beyond what we had agreed on. Does anybody else have any feeling about just granting another extension to this?
Well, I mean, I understand that this may be the second extension. From what I understood when I had a compliance review with Joel, you get 1 year. First extension is free up to 6 months. Second extension is $100. So I'm fully understanding if we have to do a second extension for the $100 that's in the fee schedule. I understand that. I'm not trying to just get a free extension. I just don't want to get into a third extension, which is up to $5,000. So that's why I'm asking.
Well, the reason that there is that $5,000 is because we don't want this to happen. And I mean, there's always going to be conditions that extend your deadline, and that's your business model. But I mean, we have to consider serious ramifications for extending this time, and that's why we set that number there. What does anybody else think about this? Patrick, Wayne, Eugene?
Well, I'd be in favor of granting the extension.
I would too.
Okay. Would you like to make a motion?
I move that we approve the extension request to June 1st, 2024.
It's Match County.
County's June 3rd.
But he wanted June 1st.
June 1st, just to stay, not go over the 2 years.
The reason he's doing the June 1st is if we extend it to June 3rd, then he's under the provisions to collect $5,000 for the next extension, and he's trying to avoid it.
Exactly.
So if we grant the extension, and it looks like you're making progress, right, Will? That's
Yeah, we're running full speed. I mean, as soon as we got the foundation in, so that's the hard part is if you don't make it during the watershed window, then you got to wait a whole year. Otherwise, I mean, I would have built this house a long time ago.
Yeah. So here's the stipulation, right? You pass June 1st, you're gonna have to eat the 5,000, I guess, when you come back if you don't make that June 1st, right? So that's the stipulation. If we approve this and you pass the June 1st and Joel still says it's still in construction, and I guess you're kind of stuck there, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm 100% confident I'll be done before June 1st, and I'll have the final inspection with Joel before June 1st. And that's all I'm asking, just an extension till June 1st, and I'll be done at the end of April, if not sooner. Of course, sometimes we get snow and subs can't make it to the job site, but even factoring that in, I'll definitely be done before June 1st.
Yeah. So I think the motion that's put on the table is not to match the county, but rather to the requested June 1st date.
Yeah, just the second extension. Don't want to get into the third extension.
This would be the third extension?
Second, I'm still
Oh.
under the first extension.
Let me look at this permit inspection history. So this is, you would go into 2 years. And that would only be, how many extensions would that be over 2 years?
Up to 2 years is 2 extensions. First year is free. Then first extension, which is 6 months, or matching the county, which is free, which would put you a year and a half, and then the second extension is another 6 months, which would push you 2 years, which is $100.
Okay, so essentially you're gonna do whatever deadline you want, but you're just trying to avoid the $5,000 penalty for doing this, is how I'm reading this. Is that not true?
Can you repeat that?
Generally, at this point, you would be fined $5,000 if you weren't granted extensions.
No, because what Joel explained to me is you have a year for free, a year and a half, with 1 free extension, and 2 years for only $100. And I'm just following that schedule. I'm doing whatever I can to finish as soon as possible, but from what I understood, after 2 years, that's where you get into the up to $5,000 extension.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it right now.
So Dan, what we can do is grant vote on the extension, saying we're fine with the extension, except it's conditioned on Joanne taking Diane taking a look at what's the last date of the expiration of the previous extension, and then calculate are we in the 5,000 or not in the 5,000.
I think that, yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to get at, because I don't want it to be the business model that, you know, you can go on as long as you want, get extensions as long as you want, and never pay that $5,000, which is supposed to be our way of saying we don't want these to go on to 2 years.
Right. Because you're going to get objections from the neighbors next door, right?
You'll get strong objections. I live next to a construction site too, and if it's going to go on for 2 years, I will have some serious problems with that. And that's why we have these fees, and we can't just grant extensions.
I understand, but what's the issue if I'm not exceeding the 2 years? What's the issue when the up to 5,000 is after 2 years?
I'm not exactly sure when the fees kick in, but it sounds like you're just trying to avoid them. I mean, if we just continue on with what the original plan was, the original milestones, you would probably be fine within that 2 year period. I'm not exactly sure, but I would like to review that.
Because the extensions are extended to the county's expiration dates, and this is a different case, right? That we don't extend to the county's expiration date, so that's not normal. So that's why we should pause here and ask Dan, what was the last expiration date of the permit that we extended to, and then the precedence has always been to the county's expiration date.
So we would need to review this with Diane and Joel to make sure that that is actually the case, because I'm not convinced that it is.
Yeah, we're okay, I guess, to the requester here, that we're okay to extend to the county's expiration date, but what we're not okay, and we need to verify what was the last extension request. But as it stands, this is not normal, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's circumstances that come up. I mean, even if you extend it up to the county's extension, and I have a final inspection before June, what's the issue? I mean, I'm done. I have a final inspection with Joel before June.
It
What?
matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter because we can't forecast the future and neither can you, right? So the best we can do is follow legal dates, which is the county's extension to 6/3, right? So whether you beat it or extend past that date, you're still good till 6/3, right?
Yeah.
We can't, I guess, what we're trying to advise you on is we're not to bury that, right? Like it's common practice and it's consistent with the way we've done extension always to the county's date.
Yeah, so when I came in November, I had an expiration date of January 6th, and that's where I asked. I was at the dance barn. I asked, what should we do? I mean, why extend it for a month? Can you just extend it for 6 months? You guys told me to we'll just temporarily extend it under the first extension up to June 6th to match the county, and then just come back again, submit for another extension, and then we'll go from there. So as of now, I'm asking for a second extension, which is $100. So I'm not quite sure why we're talking about the third extension.
No, okay. So what we're trying to tell you is in your application, you're saying, and we have the records from the county, it's 6/3, right? So we're going to approve the extension to 6/3.
Okay. Well,
and you're subject to whatever the fees are to get you the 6/3.
Well, yeah, it just sounds like you guys do what's beneficial to you guys at this point. I mean,
to the whole community.
Well, like if the county had it before 6/1, that's great, right? But we're just following the county, right? You can go amend it and then come back. Like we have to follow the paperwork, right? So the paperwork says 6/3. Are you telling us it's not that date?
No, it is that date. I mean, in that case, I mean, can it be a condition to where it's extended to 6
You go
or sooner if I have final inspection?
Yeah, so go back to the county and get it amended and then come back to us. That'd be the easiest. Because we're stuck to approve this for 6/3.
I've never heard you guys not trying to extend something for shorter than what's. I mean, it seems like it'd be to your guys' benefit and the community's benefit to extend it shorter.
We didn't tell you that. We just said we're approving it based on what the records are in front of us, which is 6/3. So the county has it set for 6/3, and that's what we're extending it to, right? So if you come back with a 6/1 date, and then we'll approve it to 6/1. We have to follow the county, right? So go get it amended, and it's nothing to do with beneficial to anybody. We don't have any benefit to this.
Well, I don't think the county is gonna sit there and play games like that. I mean,
well, we know we're just
I'll
following,
try, but
we're just following the county. So if you don't want us to approve to 6/3, then tell the county to get it amended to a date that's preferable for you, right? You said you think you can get this done 2 months in advance, right?
I'll try, but I got a permit with Sudden Valley that's expiring January 6th. So I need something to happen. I mean, I got to finish this house.
So what happens if you go beyond the January 6th? You need to pay a fine.
Well, I'm good with the county, but Sudden Valley's extension as of now is till January 6th. That's why I'm on this meeting to extend it.
So then you would have a third extension, or you already have the third?
Second, I'm applying for a second extension.
So Dan, where we are is the first extension, or sorry, the first application is a year long, right? Then the first extension is expiring January 6th. That's where we are.
Is it a
And
year long or 6 months?
6 months.
And then it's just an automatic extension, and that would be extension 1.
Yeah. So the next one would be extension 2, right?
Yes, which would be after 1 year.
Yeah.
No, that would be after a year and a half, or what's matched with the county.
Which is
You get
6-3.
1 year for free, and then your first extension is 6 months after your first year, or up to what county, matching what county has. And then your second extension is up to 2 years or 6 months after the first extension. So I'm currently under my first extension up to January 6th. And I'm asking for a second extension.
So it was originally approved January 6th of 2022?
2024,
No,
in 2 days.
no,
Day before.
when was the initial request?
The application date?
The application date?
Application date was June 1st of 2022.
Okay, so 1 year from then would be June 1st of 2023. Correct?
Yes.
It'll actually be 1 day less, right? They don't give you the next day, right? So it would have been May 30.
May 31st.
May 30th, 31st, right? Or 30 days. So each time you extend, it's 1 day loss, right?
Okay, so then the extension after that from May is 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
Okay, which would then end in what, June? I mean, January?
Yeah, which is right around now.
Okay, and is that a free extension or is that $100 payment?
So the first extension is free. The second extension that I'm applying for now is $100.
Okay, which
That's
would
why I
then,
was
which would then take it to,
June 1st.
or
He's-
May, if you do the math, if you guys are
He-
saying that you can pay less, then it would be end of May, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, the problem he has is we on the second one, we don't do it that way, is we do it we approve it to the county's date. That's where his application is requesting a variance. So this is not normal, right?
okay, so it goes after,
After the free extension, it goes to the county's date. We follow a calendar, and then as soon
okay,
as
so June 23rd, after June 23rd, I mean, I'm sorry, after June 3rd of this year, then if he's not completed, then it would be a $5,000.
Exactly. It'd be, yeah, I'd be applying for my third extension if I wouldn't be done by June 3rd of this year.
It would be 5,000, correct?
Up to 5,000, yeah.
Yeah. So what's the problem in approving it to the June 3rd county date then?
we're not. It impacts him, right? Because the builder is going beyond the second extension now.
Well, how? If this is my second extension, and it's up to you guys to determine when you want to extend it to. If you guys are trying to push it out so that way I kind of fall into my third extension when I don't need to, then I'm just asking for a second extension, which is $100. I'm a year and a half into this.
So would this not be your third extension?
If it goes after the June 2020 date.
But you asked for a second extension last year.
Yeah, he already got So if we go to June 3rd, it's his third extension.
No, when I came in November, I was extended. It's recorded. I even asked, am I still under my first extension? I was told yes, just because it was just a month of an extension. Because
I think we need to clarify that. We don't know exactly what it is right now. We need to look back at that. There's a lot more records than we have in front of us right now. I don't know. It sounds like it would be your third. I'm not sure. You're saying it's your second. I think
it's my second.
I think this is something we need to look at.
Yeah, so it goes back to what we said at the beginning is we can approve to the 3rd to the county's date. That's all we can do. And we can look back at the records to verify, is this the second extension request based on records at the office, right?
Right.
Yeah, the only way you'll be able to verify that is if you guys look into that meeting, the recorded meeting, when it was verbally said. I believe by Daniel. I asked. We just wanted to confirm: am I still under the first extension? And I was told yes. Just come back, before January 6th.
Well, I guess it depends on how many times you ask for an extension. That's how we count them. 1, 2, 3. So I don't think it matters what we say it is at this point. We look at what number, how many you asked for, how many you were approved. That would give us the number.
What about what you said?
Well, I could call this the first one right now, but it doesn't mean it is.
Extend it for a month? Like what? Why extend it for a month? Like if you guys say that you guys are going to extend it for either 6 months or match counties, I mean, why not do 6 months? Why do you guys match county and then trying to push me into a third extension when you said I'm still under this first extension?
Well, nobody's trying to push you into any extensions where,
Well,
we'd like you to finish in 1 year. That's what the intention is. And any fine structure is to keep that from happening. We're not trying, we don't want this to go on for 2 years. This is your circumstances, your business, and that's part of what
I don't want to either, but the circumstances kind of made me. I mean, this is my job. That's how I get paid. And that's how I feed my family. I'm trying to get this done and sold.
No, I know. I
want
appreciate that you're doing this as quick as you possibly can, but we made to add our own pressures on you to actually do get this done because our committee, we don't care. I mean, you've got neighbors though that, are having to live with this every day. And that's why we impose these deadlines.
I always tell the neighbors that one day when their house was being built, it affected the neighbor right next door to them. It's just that's just how a house gets built.
In 1 year,
you got watershed restrictions. Yeah, if you get lucky. I mean, these lots are not easy to build on, and when you have a concrete plant temporarily shut down for a month and kind of screws up everyone's schedule.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, we all deal with those kinds of things, but that's at this point, that's what our structure is, and that's what we determined is fair. That could be something you talk about at a different point, but that's what we look at this point. And that's what we're trying to adhere to as closely as possible. Any extensions we give you are, I would think you'd have to have a real compelling reason for us to do that. And at the end of the day, we're looking out for everybody who lives in Sutton Valley, not just one construction team. And what we're doing whatever we can to help you out too. But I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, we're looking at your neighbors and what they have to deal with.
All right, I have nothing else to say.
Well, I'm still confused here. So the project was actually started, the initial application was when? Tell me that again.
June 1st of 2022.
Which then meant that you had to complete it by May 31st of 2023. So you got an extension, which would have been a 6-month extension, correct?
Correct.
which would then have been, what, May is 5, 6, so that'd be 11/30, November 30th.
Of last year. So that was
November 30th of
almost
2023. And now, okay. So the 1 year is free. The extension to November 30th is $100.
no. So 1 year is free. The first extension is free as well. So the extension to November 30th of 2023 is free. The
Okay.
second extension is $100.
Okay, and that would run to what? To May?
No, the second extension matches county. We've never gone the 6 months after. The free ones are time based. The second one is tied to the county records.
Okay, which is June 3rd, right?
Yeah, that would be a second extension to June 3rd, but it doesn't sound like Daniel wants to do
So
that.
if we approve the extension to June 3rd, it's only $100 fee.
Exactly.
If it runs past June 3rd, then the extension would require a $5,000 fee.
Exactly.
This is the third extension, is that right?
Second.
This is the second.
The one being talked about right now that's on the meeting. I think it's the third.
Well, yeah, your construction.
No, Patrick, you're missing another piece of information. He came in November to ask for a 1 month extension. So there you go. So that was the second.
I didn't ask for a 1 month extension. That's what I was given, with the condition that I'm still under the first extension. If you look at the recording, if you go back and watch the recording, that's what Daniel said.
But we're asking for the paperwork. When did the office issue that? Because you got to have a piece of paperwork. You can't just say go look on YouTube, right? Like no construction is gonna go look.
What's the reason for recording the videos? Just in case you have to go back and gather some information. The extension paperwork that I received didn't state that it was stated that.
So we're gonna go. We just finished explaining. We're gonna go get verification that what was the request in November and what was issued by the office. And if it wasn't issued in the office, then that wasn't an extension, right? So we're gonna go. I think Patrick. I think before we go forward on this, we're gonna defer this and go verify records at the office was issued.
We're not going to defer it. We can't defer
Okay.
that.
Okay, then the best method is to reject this.
If our policy is to extend it to the county state, why did we just do 1 month? Is that when the county's extension ended?
Well, this is what's confusing is because you guys and the county operate differently. With the county, as long as you have an inspection, if you're over 1 year, and as long as you have an inspection every 180 days, they automatically extend it without even applying for an extension or paying any fee. So if I have an inspection, it can be any time. It's 180 days from that date.
Yeah, and my understanding too is that the county will extend out 6 months at a time or 180 days when they come out and do this. So the county's continually expanding their extension date. And then Sudden Valley has been matching whatever county's extension date has been to. So what you see on your screen right now, this is the you guys are asking about paperwork. This is the most recent letter that was sent out from the 11/16 meeting, extension approved through 1/8/2024. So that's why Will's here today to get this extension.
Yeah, and that's what I was told at the meeting that I'm extended to 1/8/2024 under the first extension. And that's what I'm trying to argue the whole time here.
Yeah, I don't know what was said on the other meeting.
So what we're trying to establish here, Joel, is we need to understand, is this the second extension or is this the third? Because to me, it sounds like, and based on the paperwork, it's the second extension was already granted. And now we're asking for the third.
Right, that's my understanding that what's on the agenda today is the third extension that's being filed with, at least paperwork wise, that's being filed with Sudden Valley.
Yep, that's the way I read it.
And that's how we count it. That's how
So
we
it's
come
the
to the
third.
number 3.
So it doesn't matter what date you ask us to expire on, it's still the third. Still a third extension here. Like what's on paper right now, like in the application that we're reviewing right now, it's saying, can you make it the June the 1st? But it's not clear here, right? You want us to match county dates, and the county date doesn't match the requested date, so it should be amended or whatever, right? So and regardless, it's a third extension request here.
Okay, whatever you guys say.
No, it's what you put on paper. It's what's been issued, right? You asked for the second
Well,
extension already, right?
Part of joining the
You-
meeting and talking about is to figure things out and come to an agreement, but it's,
Like,
okay.
what were you expecting?
Well, I was told, I don't know why I'm being told that whatever is told during the meeting doesn't count. I was told when I came in November that, I mean, if I knew that I wasn't under the first extension, I would have asked, just give me another 6 months, please. I mean,
What did you get as far as documentation? I mean, people will misspeak in meetings, and maybe that was what I did. I don't recall. But what was said in the documentation?
well, I mean, nothing is said. It doesn't say if it's a first or a second extension, but I figured someone's there is taking notes, or maybe that there's a reason why the meeting's being recorded.
There is.
I don't have that.
I'm sure we do have that number, and I think what I'm hearing from Joel is that this would be the third extension. And that's what I think we're all inferring from what we're looking at too.
All right, whatever you guys say, I gotta get back to work. But okay.
So the motion for this would be,
Well, you need an extension to June 3rd, correct?
Yeah, I mean, at least to May.
You need
but,
the extension. The question is it going to be a $5,000 fee or a $100 fee?
and that's really nothing we need to determine at this point. We need to determine whether he gets an extension. I think in the office, they can determine, look at all the paperwork and decide, is this actually the third or is it only the second? So I guess what we're doing is offering an extension. I don't know if we need to give it a number or not. I think we just.
Well,
We're-
what's the point? What's the point of 6 months or the county? If you guys match the county, then can you guys at least match the extensions? I'm still under the first extension with the county. So if you guys are gonna match, grant me a 1 month extension, then why not match the number of extensions that county granted me? Why is it like you guys are doing it to kind of almost punish and get as much money as you guys can from the builders?
Well, I think what we can do, you need the extension, so we can approve that. The question.
Well, I need it regardless. There's no choice. I mean, I don't have a choice. You guys don't have a choice. I need to finish the house regardless.
Right.
It's not gonna sit.
The question comes up is the fine, and we need to go back and take a look at, when things were, and if we just gave a 1 month extension and we should have matched it with the county and done 6 months, we can correct that, administratively in the office.
Well, I have a question. So you guys extend up to 6 months or match county. If you guys match county, why don't you guys match the number of extensions that I have with county? If not, then why wasn't I just granted 6 months when I came in November?
But I don't think we technically, go
No,
ahead, Wayne.
You guys
yeah,
can
no,
give
no,
builders
no,
like a bunch of 1
no.
month extensions, and at the end of 1 year, I can have 12 extensions. What's the point of that?
So if we, yeah, so everyone that comes in and asks for their permits, they get 1 year free, and then they get the second one that's only for 180 days free. The next one matches county, right? So the fact that you asked to match the 1/1/8 date, year 2024, we got that for you in November. So there's no
I didn't
question.
ask to match that, and you
Well,
guys
you got,
matched that.
it's there, it's matching, right? So now the fact is county's now extending it again to June 3rd, right? So now you're in your third extension at that point.
Yeah, I just don't understand.
So you
I'm
got
I'm
a
under
second,
with the county.
yeah, you got a second extension for free, which you should have been charged $100, right? So now you're in your third, right? Because you've come here to ask for another one, right? Because you came
But
in
what is
November. You're not denying
when
that. You did come in November to
yeah,
ask for one, and then you're coming here to
yeah,
ask for
but
another one. So that's 3, right?
I don't think we
yeah,
need
but
this
if
anymore.
we're
Let's just go ahead and improve the extension to June 3rd, and then we'll go back and look and see what the, what the extension thing should be, if this is the second or third extension, and then you'll know what you have to pay.
yeah, make it the 7th extension. All right.
No, this
Take
is not
care.
this is not
Yeah, you
arbitrary.
can get going and we can figure out what it's really supposed to be.
Whatever benefits you guys, I totally understand.
We're not profiting from this at all. This is something that the community is asking for. They complain that these construction times go on forever, and this is our solution to that. And I'm sorry, it is inconvenient. We do try to work with you. I mean, in the past we've offered extensions.
I know all the builders here, they feel like they're getting scammed.
Well,
The
I mean, a lot of
deposits
the owners do too, and there's going to be something we have to meet in the middle. Not everybody's going to be happy with everything 100%. We're trying to work with you.
I don't think this
but
is
we do.
fair.
We're spending a lot of time
But
talking to you
I
about
don't
this.
have any more time. It's been 2 hours. I've been sitting here waiting for my turn here.
I've got a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
The motion is to approve this to the county's extension date, and we will review what the actual number is later on. So we're just approving this extension, correct?
Yes.
Is that the motion? I second. All in favor?
Aye.
You said aye, Wayne?
Yes.
Okay. Unanimous. All right, item 5. Planter boxes. I don't think we have anyone here for that. Is that correct, Diane?
Correct.
Okay, my concern for this one is the actual fence. I think the planter boxes sound nice, and it sounds like they're gonna take some time to make it. They'll look good. But they do plan to put a fence. They call it a temporary fence, which we don't really have a drawing of what that would look like. It sounds like they think that they don't need approval for the fence part of it, but I think what they're considering is that you can put a small fence on an individual plant, which doesn't need our approval, but any other kind of fence, we would need a little bit more information about. And I had a question about, it looks to me from the description that it will be in the backyard. So that is a mitigating factor. Any questions about this? My only concern is the fence that they plan to put up. They say it's temporary, but the description looks like a hog wire fence, which would not be temporary. So I'm not really clear what their intention is for that. My inclination would be to approve the boxes, but not the fence.
Unless they're meeting or they're complying to the ones in the back of the ACC manual.
You know, I mean, they wouldn't have to take the fences down, would they? I don't know why they're saying they would be temporary.
I am not sure either. And I don't really know where the fences are going to go. Are they going to go around the whole structure, or each one is going to get a fence?
We're not approving the fence here, right? That's
Right.
we're only approving the planter. Like I don't see any requests here for the fence. Like what are we approving?
Yeah, if you read the description, they plan to use black or green hog wire fence off the garden boxes. These fences may be temporary during the growth season and shouldn't require an ACC approval according to Article C.
That's telling us how to do our job. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think what they read was that you don't need a ACC approval for if you put a one individual fence around one tree. That's fine. You know, to protect your tree from deer. That's fine. We don't need to look at that. But I'm not clear where the actual fence would be if it would
Say they're
be
putting
around.
4 posts on each garden bed.
Yeah, but this is bigger than a tree. So
Yeah,
it
this
does.
is. So we would have to approve or not approve the fence part of this.
You're not approving the fence part here, right? That's all I'm saying is that we're the scope is the planter boxes. We can't do anything about we're not approving the fence here.
Yeah, they're not asking for a fence at this point, I guess. They want to put planter boxes up, but we would have to be clear that, you know, we're not approving the fence.
Well, they want to fence it off, they said.
Yeah, but it's not an application for a fence here.
It's for exterior appearance, and the appearance is the flower beds and the fences around them.
So where's the fences?
It says there'd be a post on each corner of the garden bed.
So each one of these would have its own fence around it.
That's the way I'm reading this.
Yeah, need a picture. I'm not clear.
There is a picture showing the 3 boxes.
Yeah, show me the profile.
Yeah. And the other thing is this is a sort of a terraced space, so one of them will be higher than the other, so we'll have 3 different layers of fences back there.
I guess on the drawing, it's not clear where it's in relationship to the property and the house. And then the second thing, there's no profile view. So you could put a motion to approve the planter boxes, but deny the fence until more information is submitted on the next application.
That's how I feel. The boxes seem fine, but I would like to get a little more information about where in relation to the house these will go. Because if it's way in the back, you know, nobody will see them, that's fine. But if we have 3 different layers of fencing around 3 different boxes, that might be something we want to consider. And Wayne, you're upside down for some reason.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
Probably should have taken a look at this when we went out on Tuesday.
Yeah.
We probably could have answered those questions and could have handled it a lot quicker.
Yeah. So I think I'm with Wayne where we could approve these boxes, but we'd like to see the application for the fences too then. So
yeah, so I could put a motion here. So a motion to approve the 3 planter boxes as drawn below a height of 2 feet, and then deny the proposed fence until more information and clearer drawings are provided.
I second that. All in favor?
Wait a minute, do they? Hang on just a moment.
Sure.
Hmm. Okay. I'm good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
So who made the motion on that? Wayne?
Yep.
And second by Daniel?
Me, Daniel. Item 7. This is for removal of some trees. Apparently they're hazard trees. There have been trees that had fallen down there previously, and there were some concerns about these other ones. Any concerns or questions?
Make a motion to approve.
I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? I think that's everything.
Reschedule item 9, reschedule the
Oh,
July.
right, yeah. Yeah, we were talking about what, so our meeting is scheduled to be on the 4th, and we're looking for an alternative date. Diane had suggested some things looking at the calendar. I can't remember what it was. Anybody have any opinions about that? I think rather than scheduling it for the day after or the day before, which might be a little awkward, I think we were going to move it to 2 consecutive weeks. Any opinions?
Can we just cancel and just have the one?
Well, that was the first our first thought, but July is a very busy time of the year, so we don't want to end up with 60 items on our calendar.
What, do we have to be out of there before midnight?
We
So-
we could just shift it the following week, right?
That's my thought.
Like
So the rest of the month would be as scheduled, but this one we would move to the subsequent week at the same time of day.
yeah,
Just 1 week later.
You're saying that we'll move it to July 11th, which is the next Thursday, and then we'll have our regular meeting on the 18th.
Yes.
What have they done in prior years when it, or has that not been an issue? I guess the 4th has not necessarily been on a Thursday. So
I don't know.
Your meeting on the 11th will be pretty full because it'll be 3 weeks. That's why I had proposed the 2nd, which is a Tuesday. But it's
I
up
could
to
do
you.
I could do Tuesday.
Tuesday, July 2nd.
Yeah.
But that messes up your tour.
So would that one be in the morning or the afternoon?
That's a Zoom.
that's
Okay.
that'd be a Zoom.
Okay. We'd have to reschedule our tour.
You know what you could do, Dan, is do the tour in the morning and then have the meeting in the afternoon on the 2nd.
Yeah, could we do that? Make an evening meeting?
I don't have a problem.
A Zoom evening meeting? Is that what you're saying?
I guess it could be Zoom. It doesn't matter to me, but yeah, I guess if we could do it in the evening, that would solve all our problems. So we would have our tour regular 2 o'clock and then have a Zoom meeting at 6 o'clock.
I doubt if we'd be done with the tour in 2 or 4 hours.
That would give us a little motivation.
Well, let's just tentatively say it looks like the second is amenable to everyone, right?
Yeah, I think so. We could put that on the schedule. So all in favor of that?
Just so I'm clear, 7/2 at 6 PM on Zoom.
That's
Correct.
correct.
And since our tours are officially meetings, we have to clarify that our meeting would be on that. Well, I guess that would be the same day, same time. But yeah, just so everybody knows officially that our 2 o'clock meeting on Tuesdays is a meeting, and all are welcome. And we're always welcome to meet with the people that we're reviewing that week, and anybody else who wants to tag along. So all in favor?
I
Who motioned and seconded? I'm sorry.
I think I made the motion. I don't think it has to be seconded.
No, I'll second.
Thank you, Patrick. You're always there for us.
Unanimous, was it?
Yes.
And that'll be July 2nd, it'll be a 6 PM Zoom meeting.
Yes.
Did we ever do items 1 and 2?
Two.
We approved the meeting agenda. We didn't approve the meeting minutes. So all in favor of approving the meeting minutes from 12/7/2023?
I abstain.
Aye.
Aye.
One abstention?
Mhm.
And you don't need a motion or a second on that?
I've heard that we don't need seconds. We just need a motion.
Who made the motion?
I think I made, making a motion to approve the meeting minutes from
Okay.
12/7/23. All in favor?
I
Aye. And one abstention from Patrick.
Majority.
Yes. All right, so then we'll close this meeting at 11:02.